Good morning. It's not uncommon, in fact, more common than not, in these days of national turbulence, you might hear the question, God, where are you in all of this? Some people might even argue and have argued that God is responsible because God allows this to happen. I would disagree slightly, if not totally, with that perspective, because so many of the events that we're faced with are caused by natural laws, such as the fires in the west caused by lightning and the hurricane in the south caused by the weather patterns. But then there are the riots, there is the looting and other crimes, which I suggest are the result of our societal sin. Just because God is not responsible, however, does not mean that God is not present or active. Jesus shares with his disciples before his death and resurrection that they would have distress or trouble in this world, but he encouraged them because he had conquered the world. John chapter 16, verse 33. Christ did not promise a life without challenges. He sought, however, to assure us that we would have to deal with trials of sickness and tragedy and natural disasters, and yes, even malice or evil in this life. But he does promise peace. In John chapter 14, just 2 chapters earlier than the one that I shared with you already, Jesus is talking still to the disciples, and he says, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. I give to you not as the world gives. Don't be troubled or afraid." And so the believer in Christ can walk through all that occurs to them or around them with peace and purpose. It's not this information that brings us peace. However, it helps when trouble comes for us to remember that Jesus had been prophetic in his warning about this world and where peace is found. The good news for us is that our peace is not found in the external circumstances or events around us, but in Christ himself. The life that God calls us to is empowered now because he, Christ, has overcome the world. No one, Christian or not, no one avoids trouble in this life if they live very long. Storms come. And one of the most meaningful stories in the Gospels was when Jesus and his disciples got in a boat to cross over to the other side of the Sea of Galilee, Mark chapter 4. And as they made their way across the sea, Jesus lay down to rest, and some versions even say sleep. A storm appeared, and it began to rock the boat. So much so that his disciples became afraid and worried for their safety and their very lives. Now take note, Jesus was with them in this storm, but they seemed to believe or think that he did not care about what was happening. Because when they woke him up, they said, "Teacher, don't you care that we are drowning?" Jesus responded by standing and causing the storm to be still, and then he brought peace and calm to those who are in the boat with him. Yes, the storm came, but Jesus was with them. And the good news for us today is that God is with us, fully present, personally present, actively present. And as we walk through the pandemic of COVID-19, the unrest and divisions in our country, or the threat of fire, wind, or rain, plus our own personal storms of life, I encourage us to understand that we're not alone, because God is with us. Take a few moments to recall the great things that God has already done in your life, the difficult times that he has brought you through, And think about even the miracles that you've seen him perform. Remembering that God has done in the past, everything he's done in the past will encourage you to be confident that he can handle any situation that you face today. I encourage you to listen carefully to the voice of the Spirit. You may be able to hear him declare, in the midst of the storms around us today, peace, be still. What people may remember, years to come, months to come, maybe days to come, what people may remember the most about these current crises will be the way we responded to these storms. Take strength and take hope today from the truth of Jesus' words in John chapter 16, verse 33. I've said these things to you, Jesus says, so that you will have peace in me. In the world you will have distress, but be encouraged. I have conquered the world. Praise be to God. And may the Lord bless you and give you peace in these days.